I don't know if you can see it, but there's a nice bird singing. It's right there. So I just watched a video, a talking video of myself from 2021, so 4 years ago. And I was talking about live music and how the pandemic just completely destroyed whatever trajectory I was on with music. Because at that point, in 2021, it was a year since we last played our show, or over a year. And before that, I had never gone a year, maybe, without playing live music. And I didn't know how much that would affect me. And so in the video, I talk to you, to me, about what that feels like.
I think it's a European starling. I can't tell, but it's doing the same call over and over, which makes me think it's not a mockingbird.
And how I can't imagine things getting better, and how I'm doubting my identity, and it's crazy. 4 years later, things still have not gotten better. We haven't tried, but I think we just got comfortable with how things are, and it's hard to pick up the motivation and the energy to actually do it again. I don't think we want it enough right now, and I'm not sure we ever will.
Well,
It's really nice sound. I could listen to that for a while. Let me close the window. Yeah, it's nice to see. Nice to hear. I mean, now I'm going to go to Acme, get some Cheerios because I'm craving Cheerios for some reason, and watch the next episode of Common Side Effects, which has been fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. It's like one of the best shows I've seen in a while. Today I made this, but the chicken leaked. It was just dripping everywhere, and it had a hole in it, and I didn't think it was fresh, so I didn't use it. But it's good without the chicken. It's just, I got money back from HelloFresh too, because I told them, so that was good. I have a crossword that I'm going to do later. I also got this. It's, I don't even know how to describe it. There's barely any dialogue, but it's very, I don't know. It just seems like a dystopian cyberpunk thing, and I really liked what I saw on the internet, so I bought it. And apparently it stays relatively dialogue free, and it's just mood, and I'm inspired by that. So I'm excited to read more of it, but I'm taking my time because since there's no dialogue, it's just gonna fly by. And there's 6 of those books, I think, and I don't want to get hooked too soon and have to buy all those books. So yeah, that's it. Because the longer we go, the easier it gets to forget about it. But at the end of the video, I said, I hope you'll watch this again in the future and laugh and be like, that was a funny time when we couldn't play shows. We're playing them all the time now. That's what I said. And, well, it's not quite that time yet to look back and laugh. But it doesn't feel nearly as sad to me now, because I don't I know somewhere that in my core that is what I want to do, but it's not on my mind. And so it's not something I'm chasing right now. When it comes again, it'll be good. But I'm okay for a while. I don't know when it's going to bug me again. Um, but yeah. I also talked about daily songs. I had just finished the year of daily songs. It was 3 months after finishing. And that was a huge thing for me too. That was another thing that I thought was in my core, who I am, was writing these songs every day. But I realized it was lightning in a bottle, and it was only possible because I was unemployed for so much of that year. And it was the pandemic, and I had nothing else to do but write a song, and so it worked. And my nose is stuffed. And I've been disappointed the recent times that I've tried to do daily songs again. Well, maybe disappointed isn't the word. Um, maybe demoralized, is that the word? Whatever the opposite of motivated is, discouraged, when I try to do the daily songs, because I only end up doing them for a couple weeks or for a month. I did them for a month last time. And I realize in the process that it's not going to be possible to do a daily song every day to the level that I want, because I'm working now and I do other things and I can't do that. And so that no longer really feels like a core thing to me, just like playing live shows doesn't either. And I would like it to be, but I understand that it's not possible. And I think that's a healthy discovery. That way I'm not disappointed about it anymore. And I wasn't as much this last time. I did it for a month and I was happy with that. So I am disappointed that I'm not writing music as much. I'm writing a song with Destiny, and that's fun and that's refreshing. But I don't. There's nothing. There's nothing eating away at me that I feel like I need to write right now. So I took notes about what I wanted to talk about. What's next? So the story I've been writing, I have not added to the 23,000 words, but I've written a couple thousand words of another story, the big story that I've wanted to write for so long. And I wrote it, and I was looking at it, and it's like, this doesn't have the vibe I wanted. It just feels like I'm describing what happens in the scenes. And I realized the last story I wrote in third person, because there's multiple characters that it follows, and it makes sense for the perspective to be from the bird's eye view, who sees everything. But this story, I wrote everything, and then I realized it was in third person, and it wasn't feeling like the character was emoting through the words. And so I copied the whole story, and I put it in AI, and I said, hey, can you replace this character's name with I and me at every point and make it first person? And it did. And it didn't read very well, because the word choices I picked were not getting into the character's head. And that was very eye-opening for me. And I have since gone back to what I wrote and manually changed it from third to first person and rewritten words around it. It's still the same things happen, but now you get an idea of the characters' feelings and who they are. And I think that's more interesting, and I think that's the way to go for this story. I think it strengthens the story a lot, actually. And it feels a lot closer to a Murakami story, because he writes in first person. Yeah, so that was a good revelation for me. I don't think I've written 30,000 words yet. I might have. I think I have to write a couple more thousand um, to have said that I wrote 30,000 words this month. But it's not 30,000 for one story. I still don't feel the drive to write the climax for the first story. I will at some point, but I think this other story has always been more important to me, and it feels good writing it. Yes, I'm doing that. What else? The road trip. So, Harry and I we talked today about the road trip. I got my time off, so I'm off from the 14th to the 17th. And it's good because the 18th we already had off from work, so I didn't have to use 5 vacation days, only 4. And that feels good. And that's less work than I'm putting on my coworkers because they won't be there that day either. So I don't feel bad about that. And I'm excited for the road trip. I don't care what we do. I'm just excited to go out and be outside and see my friends. But I think we're going to go to Shenandoah. I think Harry isn't sure what he wants to do. Shenandoah, the Great Smoky Mountains, or South Carolina somewhere. Congaree, I don't know the park. I've never been there, but it's exciting. I'm excited. I desperately have needed to get outside and hike, and so that'll be fantastic to do that. And I might even just wander off, because they'll have the dog, and the dog's gonna be slow, and I think they can only take him on certain trails, but that'll be good. I'll be able to get my hiking in, my much needed hiking in for the year. I'm excited. But now it's 10:12 p.m. Common Side Effects next episode was great. I want to keep watching the show. It's very good. What will I do for the rest of the night? Do I do the crossword and relax and go to sleep? Do I read? I find it kind of hard to read right now when I'm thinking so much about my own story. I haven't really tried. Maybe I should just try reading. Maybe it'll be helpful. Probably is good to absorb stuff. People listen to music when they're making music. I do all the time. Or do I spend this time writing? I don't know if I'm particularly inspired right now. I want to play guitar, but I don't have anything to play. So I end up just picking it up and like plucking at nothing for a little bit, and that gets it out of me. But I would like to have a song to work on. Anyway, it was enjoyable seeing and hearing that bird out the window. And then earlier today, there was a bird on the windshield, just 2 birds. There were 2 birds on the windshield. One flew away and then one stayed. And I was able to put my head on the glass and the bird was right here. So the bird was like this far from my face. And I got to see the little sparrow up close for a while and look at it. I got to see all the detail. I got to see the darker feathers on its chest and the way it breathed. Cool, really cool. I love this window. So many birds come to this window. It's great. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna put mint out there. I don't know. I don't want to scare the birds away. I don't know if I don't think they like mint, so I'm hoping that won't be a bad thing. And I might just put it out there if I have to. But I love the sunlight that I get in the morning from this window. I've been soaking it in. I'm tired of talking. Did anything else happen today? I don't think so. I think I covered it all. So that's it. Good night.